This video was originally going to be a part of the previous video. However, I feel the message in it is too important to just attach to another video. So, it's a video on its own. And this is something I'm going to be addressing on my channel a bit more in the future. So listen close and enjoy. After that car meet, and having been to a few car meets now, there's something I have to address. It's not club specific, but I'm more of just annoyed and angry at the car community. There's too much hatred in the car community, and it shouldn't be there. I'm not talking about like open dissing and saying, oh, your car sucks. What I'm talking about is more underneath the surface and more hidden, but it gives this negative vibe, and even my friends felt it a bit. For example, one guy I spoke to, he had his bonnet open and was saying how his engine was rusty and his car's a piece of junk. And I was looking at it like, there's really only 2 rusty bolts here? You know, kind of like, why is he saying this? And I said to him, hey, I think my engine's probably in worse condition, and I say mine is near mint. And he just kind of shrugged it off, and I complimented the guy's exhaust as well. And he said, oh, it's just loud and makes a bunch of noise, it's no good, and just kind of dissing his own car. When he just got a compliment. Like, really? Why? There was also a bit where I was talking to someone and saying, oh, I was able to keep up with your sports car while in my normal car. And he said, yeah, that's because I was stuck behind this grandma driver, pointing to another person in the club. And it was just like, why do you have to say that? Why not just say, oh yeah, that's cool, and just shrug it off? I mean, yeah, sure, what I said may not have been the nicest thing, but you don't have to diss other people with that, and, you know, it just kind of gives this negative vibe. And it wasn't just an isolated case, because I was walking around and came up to someone who had a completely stripped car. On the interior, there was basically nothing left inside. He was talking with his friend about how much his car sucks and all this, and I was thinking, I think it's kind of cool. Makes a car look like it's going to be used for racing. I said, you know, gotta save weight, every pound counts. And the guy said, oh, but, you know, the door panels barely weigh anything and I just threw them out. But it was just kind of one of those things of, why say that? Why not just be, oh yeah, that's a good point. And if the guy put some structural support in, it would probably be a really good race car or track car. But instead he was dissing his own car, and it's not necessary, really. This isn't everyone, though. Most people are really positive, helpful, and just nice to be around. But there is this negativity. It is there, and I honestly feel like it's stopping the car community from truly being unified. It always felt like the bike scene was more of a community. It just has always been more accepting, less judgmental of the vehicles, and overall just feels closer to me. Why do we have all this hatred in the car community when we have much bigger issues, such as the part that the British government is trying to ban petrol and diesel cars by 2040, and now they're in talks of moving it up even sooner. And shortly after this, they want to get rid of all petrol and diesel cars through a scrappage scheme, which would completely wipe out most of our community. There's also emissions charges in places like London, and they're saying that for older bikes and possibly even cars, there's going to be increased charges just to drive them because they're less efficient. And seeing the car community, most of the vehicles are older vehicles. And really it's threatening our community. And we need to stand up for ourselves. And I get that the government is trying to help the environment by switching to electric. And hey, I like electric cars. But I also really like petrol and V8s. And there's a lot of problems with the electric cars which really aren't as good. They're a bit harder to customize because you can't really tune it up. You can't exactly just bolt on a different exhaust or different air filter. You have to do computing and stuff like that. It makes it a bit more complex to customize. And then there's a part, there isn't that rawness of a petrol engine, the rumble, the shaking of the engine, the noise. It's just quiet. Is that really what car people want? You may be asking, if we don't use electric to save the environment, what will we do? Well, there are alternatives to electric, such as these fuel additives which almost entirely eliminate emissions. And Mazda is actually creating a new engine which they say will almost eliminate emissions as well, and it will also be more powerful and more efficient, which is still using petrol and quite revolutionary. So we don't have to go electric. What this video overall is a call to unite both the car and the motorbike community to stand up against the oppression and the people trying to kill our culture. We need to stand up for ourselves. And yes, I am currently upset and angry with the car community. But in the end, we need to come together. That's all. Peace.